Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer. For this video, we're going to be doing 12 more broken and fun high-level builds. This is going to be an amazing one, do a lot of damage, of course, throughout this video. We are on New Game Plus 7 for all the clips in this video. We're going to start with a Rivers of Blood, Hand of Malenia build. Of course, we've got a good amount of dexterity and a good amount of arcane. We're able to get a ton of bleed build up on the Rivers of Blood and switch to the Hand of Malenia when we want to as well with high dexterity for massive damage. And of course, I hope you're having an excellent day. I hope you're having the best day possible. This is going to be a great one. I did 12 builds last week for high levels, and it was incredibly fun. I had a really good time with it. Decided to do a part 2 with 12 more builds. This one has a lot of broken ones in here, along with really fun ones as well. It's a mix of both. We've got Marais Executioner Sword later, Bandit Curve Sword, some fun builds as well. This is definitely one of my favorites, that's why I put it up here first. This is what I run personally because I love the Ash of War on the Rivers of Blood as well as mixing that with the Hand of Malenia. I think they combo well together. You'll get a dual moveset with the two as well and a lot of damage once again if you're at a high level because of the amount of arcane and dexterity we have. Let's jump into equipment and stats for this one. And we have the Rivers of Blood plus 10. We have the Hand of Malenia plus 10. We are using the Golden Order Seal. We're at a high level, so that'll give us a lot of scaling. You check out the armor set here. We hit 90 poise. We have the Shard of Alexander, Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. We have Melissen's Prosthesis. We have Lord of Blood's Exaltation. And then for our tiers, we have the Thorny tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. You could add the White Mask. I kind of kept it out of this video because at high levels you don't necessarily need it. 60 Vigor, you can check out our stats there. We have 80 in all damage stats. We used Golden Vow, Howl of Shabiri, Blessings of the Erdtree for our buffs. We mentioned this before. We hit 90 poise. And next up here, we have a build for the Bandit Curve Swords. A lot of people asked for this one at a high level. I think I covered this one like a year or two ago. Decided to do this against Concert Radahn. Did make one mistake because I was testing the Falks before this. So I actually had the Shard of Alexander equipped and I missed out on Melissen's Prosthesis. So I would have gotten even more damage had I had that equipped, had I had the right talisman equipped. When I show the equipment, I'll show the correct talismans, but for this clip specifically, yeah, I had the shard in place of where Melissen's Prosthesis would have been, so I would have gotten even more damage. Long story short though, the Bandit Curve Swords have the highest AR of any Curve Sword or Twin Blade in Blood Affinity at higher max levels, so there's no question that this is going to be the best one for you in terms of pure DPS. Physical damage is insane, bleed buildup is insane. Really, you're going to be able to carry yourself if you're having any difficulty with the game using a build like this one. For bleed immune bosses, you're at a high level, so you have a ton of options. You can pretty much go with anything else. But for any boss that takes bleed damage, you're going to be able to absolutely shred with the Bandit Curve Swords. The amount of bleed buildup you're going to get, as well as there's a bleed proc there, the amount of physical DPS, it truly is ridiculous. And if you're looking to run a jump attack bleed build at high levels, I highly recommend the Bandit Curve Swords over anything else because they're really just going to beat anything else that you could possibly use at high levels in terms of bleed buildup. You have a lot of fun weapons though you could use at high levels. We're going to go into some of those as well. Just like the last video, there's going to be a mix of fun and broken builds. If you have any build requests, by the way, be sure to comment them below as well. I want to know if there's anything that you want to see at high levels or at rune level 150. Of course, I'm still doing rune level 150 builds as well. And what games you're playing as well. If you're playing Elden Ring, if you're playing other games currently, if you're playing Night Rain, etc. I'm curious as to what you're playing right now. Let me know in the comment section below what game you're playing the most right now because I am curious. I'm looking to look into other games as well. We have the Bandit Curve Swords, both in Blood Affinity, both with Seppuku. We have Golden Order Seal, of course. We have the Raptor's Black Feathers for the extra jump attack damage, 60 poise here. We have Melissen's Prosthesis, Rotten Wing Sword Insignia. We have the Claw Talisman, of course, to boost our jump attacks. Lord of Blood's Exaltation for when we proc bleed. Once again, you could add the White Mask in as well. Thorny tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's jump into stats. Actually, stats are the same. I just wanted to say let's jump into stats, but I'm going to go over buffs real quick. Golden Vow, Howl of Shabiri, Blessings of the Erdtree. We had 60 poise. Now we have a combination build between the Lion's Greatbow and Black Flame. This is going to be a really fun one. This is definitely more in line with fun. You can get a ton of damage. Of course, for this clip, I'm just going to show off the bow, and then after I show stats and equipment and all that stuff, I'm going to show how you can combine Black Flame because that's what the build's meant for. But for this clip specifically, I ended up doing a ton of damage and got a really cool clip taking down this dragon. There's the end shot there, and goodbye dragon. Did a lot of damage with Rain of Arrows at a high level with the Lion's Greatbow. You can absolutely shred some of the bigger bosses in the game. Highly recommend this one if you want to try out something that's fun and if you like great bows. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Lion's Greatbow plus 10. We have Radahn Spears, of course. We are once again using the Golden Order Seal. That's going to be for your Black Flame incantations as well. We hit 75 poise here. Shard of Alexander, Arrow Sting Talisman, Arrow's Reach. If you have Arrow's Reach and Sting, you can put it in the place there. Godfrey Icon, Green Burst Crystal tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier, and let's go over buffs. We have Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Black Flame, and Scouring Black Flame. I'm going to show how to use the entire build now in a quick clip. This is a really fun one. And the whole concept here is going to be first using, I hit the wrong button there, first using the Lion's Greatbow if you're at a distance, but once you get close up to any boss, it's going to be hard to run the Greatbow. So once you're up close and you need something better, instead of switching to a weapon, I like combining Black Flame, running the Godfrey icon, and getting a lot of damage that way. It works really well for this build, and it also makes it even more fun. Highly recommended here, all around solid build. Alright, let's get to a lot of damage here. We didn't have to low health proc or do anything crazy here. We're using Marais Executioner's Sword, and we're able to get a lot of damage at a high level, just running Golden Vow, Halashaburi, and basically able to build up on successive attack damage buffs. It's not too hard with this weapon here. We're able to take Radahn out in about 30 seconds or so, so you don't have to go too crazy with buffs or anything. We're going to use Halashaburi one more time, then we're going to take on Elden Beast and go over build for an incredibly powerful weapon at high levels. Alright, let's go behind Elden Beast and see what happens here. Got a feeling we're going to get a fairly good amount of damage here. You always get a free window here, an opportunity to go behind him, stack up that successive attack damage. 13,516 damage. Once again, really only running, I think, 2 buffs, Golden Vow and Halashaburi, aside from healing buffs. So pretty incredible the amount of damage you can get at high levels, mainly because the AR is so high, and then those successive attack buffs when you're stacking those with Marais Executioner Sword, and the fact that it's chargeable, so it could be boosted by the Godfrey icon, you're going to get a ridiculous amount of damage when you run a build like this one. I honestly think this is one of those ones where you're going to have an absolute blast with it at high levels, because you'll realize very quickly that the damage on it is very absurd. I was actually going to run Pest Red Spears with it, but I didn't need to. He went to go use Elden Stars, but this does not work out well for Elden Beast. I was pretty confident I could take him out here. That last hit landed perfectly, by the way, and he goes down. Goodbye, Elden Beast. Once again, Marais Executioner Sword is one of those weapons that can shine very often. A little bit gimmicky, but when you're at a high level, it's a lot less gimmicky. You don't have to go for all the insane amount of buffing. Just get a lot of damage to jump into equipment. And we have Marais Executioner Sword plus 10. We are using the Dragon Communion Seal. Check out our armor set here. We have part of the Rakshasa set on, the Banished Knight Helm. We have Millicent's Prosthesis. We have Rottenwing Sword Insignia. We have the Shard of Alexander. We have the Godfrey icon. This skill is chargeable. We have the Thorny tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier, and let's jump into the buffs. I think I mentioned them already, but we'll go over them one more time. Stats, of course, the same. Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, and you can add in Pest Red Spears if you want. It would actually fit this build. And next up here, we have a Rusted Anchor Pest Red Spears build. Now, this one, I got to use Pest Red Spears. I wasn't able to in the last clip, so I decided to combine it with this one, although I don't use it too much. This one is going to be a magic Rusted Anchor. We're going to be using Scholar's Armament on it with Wild Strikes for massive damage, and in Quality Affinity, we could stack up a ton of damage. So the concept with this build is very simple. You're just going to try to build up on successive hits as much as you possibly can with Wild Strikes. The Rusted Anchor in Quality Affinity, as long as you have 80 in Strength and 80 in Dexterity, and you're using Scholar's Armament, will give you close to 1,000 AR in total, which is pretty incredible. You're going to be able to stack up damage very fast with a build like this one. And of course, we have incantations as well that we can run. You can actually hit him here when he disappears for a second. We're able to get some damage there. And I was using Frozen Lightning Spear, Pest Red Spears. I'll go over them later. Scholar's Armament. I'll mention them later after equipment again. But yeah, a lot of damage potential here for sure. Once you use Scholar's Armament on pretty much anything, and then you're running it in Quality Affinity, whatever weapon you really want to put this on and run it in Quality Affinity, you're going to get a lot of damage, because Quality is going to give you 2 scaling stats, and then after you have those 2 scaling stats, you can then add something like Scholar's Armament with the right staff. If you're using something like the Prince of Death staff, you're going to end up getting a total of like additional 200, 250 more damage or so. It's actually pretty incredible, and it can make the build stack up even more damage. Let's try some incantations here. Not bad damage overall. Keep in mind, Placidusa is generally resistant to a lot of things, so this is a tough boss to take on in general. He has incredibly high resistances, but it's not going to matter too much. We do get hit once here, but we're able to get behind him, and kind of once you get behind him in this part, you're pretty much going to win no matter what. He generally has low HP when he does this, so we're going to go behind him. We're going to use Frozen Lightning Spear a couple of times. Probably would have been better if I could have gotten a Frost proc, but once again, he does have fairly good resistances in that regard. Did a lot of damage, though, with the incantations, with Rusted Anchor, etc. Really happy with the way this turned out as part of a combination build in which you could use Wild Strikes, build up on generic successive attack buffs, and then throw in incantations, too. Let's jump into equipment, buffs, everything you need to know for a powerful Scholar's Armament Rusted Anchor build. And we have the quality Rusted Anchor with Wild Strikes, of course. We have the Prince of Death Staff to give us a decent amount with Scholar's Armament. We have the Golden Order Steel. You can check out the armor set here. We hit 90 poise. Shard of Alexander, Radahn Wingsword Insignia, Melissen's Prosthesis, Godfrey Icon for Pest Thread Spears and any chargeable incantations. We have the Thorny Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into stats. And for buffs, we have, stats are the same by the way, Golden Vow, Halishiburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Pest Thread Spears, Frozen Lightning Spear, and Scholar's Armament. Alright, for the next one, we have a Sword of Night and Flame Mage build. This is going to be one that does an incredible amount of damage. I love the Sword of Night and Flame at high levels because you're able to do everything that the weapon asks you to do. Once again, at a high level, really fun to play like this because of the amount of damage you can get. And of course, you could run any spells you want whatsoever for very good damage. Post using the beam for the Sword of Night and Flame. And of course, you want to use R'hllana's cameo and take advantage of the fact that you could use both the Faith part and Magic part to a great degree because we have 80 in both of those stats. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Sword of Night and Flame plus 10. We have the Prince of Death Staff for great scaling. We have the Golden Order Seal. You can check out the armor set here. We hit 75 poise. We got a lot of poise for a lot of these builds. Shard of Alexander. We have R'hllana's cameo. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Godfrey Icon because that's going to work for any chargeable spells that we do. Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's jump into, well, the same stats for anybody using this timestamped. I'm at a high level here, but mainly buffs. Golden Vow, Halishiburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree. We're using Comet, and I believe that's Glintstone Stars as well for tracking. Next up here, we have Radahn Swords. Radahn Swords are incredibly fun. They don't do a ton of damage, but I do want to mention at a high level, they get over 900 AR, so there is that, and you can get a good amount of damage buildup. You saw there almost 7,000 damage on the dragon. It has a wide spread in the amount of damage that you can get. The problem with the Ash of War, specifically on the Radahn Swords, the Lord version, is it's incredibly long to go through the entire thing, and most bosses are not going to let you go through the entire animation. And of course, that's going to be difficult to run. For the majority of the bosses in the game, it is going to be difficult to run it that way. But overall, if you're able to get the damage off, it is decent enough at high levels. It actually works better at high levels. A lot of things do, of course, but they're not that bad at higher levels. They're just not super overpowered. They're more along the lines of fun. That's why I wanted to include them. And I was actually decently impressed with the amount of damage you can get if you're able to get the entire thing off. Maybe if you're more skilled than me, you can time it in a way where you're actually able to dodge some of the attacks. But overall, it's going to be a little bit hard to get all of this animation. I mean, look at this. This is an incredibly long animation. Now, the damage, again, pretty good, and you can throw in different holy incantations as well would fit this build. We have the Great Sword of Radahn, Lord version plus 10. We have the Golden Order Seal. Check out the armor set here, mostly the Solitude set. We hit 90 poise. Shard of Alexander. We have the Sacred Scorpion Charm. It's holy damage, not magic damage, apparently. Claw Talisman. Erd Tree's Favorite plus 2. Holy Tier. Bloodsucking Crack Tier. Let's talk about stats and buffs. And we have, of course, the same stats. Golden Vow, Halishiburi, Blessings of the Erd Tree, Multi-Layered Ring of Light would be great for this, or Light of Makella. And next up here, we have a Gargoyle Twin Blade tank build. This is a really fun one in the sense of you're going to be able to take a lot of hits at high levels with this build. I want to show this one real quick because the amount of damage we could take using Endure and then going in for those insane charge attacks. Look at the damage that we can get building up on both the charged buffs as well as the successive attack damage buffs, something you do with Twin Blades. It's pretty amazing. I got stuck on the corner there, but yeah, this is one of those ones that if you're having a hard time, you could probably run this against so many of the bosses in the game. We're on New Game plus 7 here, so it doesn't get any harder than this in terms of damage, like boss damage output. Now, there is a Marais Executioner guy, Bell-Bearing Hunter, that does more damage, though, in Caelid, but still, you could probably take him down as well. We have the Gargoyle's Blood Twin Blade plus 25. We have it with Endure. We have the Golden Order Seal. You can check out the armor set here. We hit 74 poise for this one. Two-handed Sword Talisman, Melissen's Prosthesis, Radahn Wingsword Insignia, Axe Talisman, and then we have the Opaline Hard tier and the Spike Crack tier. It's a combination build for defense and successive attack buffs and charge buffs. We are using Golden Vow, Black Flames protection for defense, Blessings of the Erdtree, and the Healing Erdtree too. Next one on here is another one of my favorites, and that's going to be Spear of the Impaler, which is Messmer Spear with an all-fire build. Now, at high levels, because of the amount of dex and faith you have, you'll be able to get an incredible amount of damage out of this Ash of War. You still don't have great poise, though. You could run the full Bowgoat set, and you would still have a difficult time staying in the air. It's very easy to get knocked out of that one, unfortunately. And then we're going to be combining in Burno Flame for massive damage, because we got the Golden Order Seal here. Almost 400 scaling. Goodbye, Crucible Knight. Gets absolutely burned to the ground. This is going to be an incredible one for most of the bosses in the game. You have the option to have a weapon with a good and fun Ash of War, and then switch to fire incantations for a lot of damage. Let's jump into equipment. We have the Spear of the Impaler plus 10. We have the Golden Order Seal. We have 74 poise. Again, you can check out the armor set here. We have the Shard of Alexander, Melissen's Prosthesis. We have the Fire Scorpion Charm, Godfrey Icon, of course, for Burno Flame. And then we have the Flame tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's jump into the buffs for this build. Stats are the same at a high level. We're at 481. We have Golden Vow, Hellish Fury, Blessings of the Erdtree, Burno Flame, and any other fire incantations you want to add. Hope you guys are having fun, because this is another fun one. A Lightning Cragblade build. This works off the Dragon King's Cragblade, as well as lightning incantations. You can mix in whatever ones you feel like mixing in. This is a smaller target, so he's kind of hard to hit there. Otherwise, you'd get really good damage, because once again, the Golden Order Seal, almost 400 scaling, going to give you a lot at high levels. Really highly recommend that seal. And of course, we're able to get a good amount of damage with our incantations. We're going to go for a regular hit in at the end. If you're doing thrusting damage, by the way, with this weapon, you can use the Spear Talisman as well to boost that. And anytime a boss attacks you, you'll get a damage boost because you're using a thrusting sword. Overall, the Dragon King's Cragblade is a lot of fun. Let's jump into equipment for this one. And we have the Dragon King's Cragblade plus 10 preferably. We have the Golden Order Seal. We have part of the Solitude set on, once again, 90 poise here. Shard of Alexander. We have the Lightning Scorpion Charm. We have the Spear Talisman for any regular hits and counter attacks. Godfrey Icon for our chargeable incantations. Lightning tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's talk about buffs. And check out the stats. They're the same as usual. Golden Vow, Hellish Fury, Blessings of the Erdtree. We have Lightning Spear, Ancient Dragon, Lightning Strike, and the Glaive one. Right, purely goofy here. This is just straight goofball kind of shit. And yeah, this is going to be one of those situations where it's a Fire and Frost build. It doesn't exactly work even at higher levels, but you're going to be able to block the majority of hits with this using, of course, the Visage Shield and get a good amount of fire damage. And then we're running Glintstone Ice Crag, because of course we can do whatever we want. We've got strength, we've got intelligence, so we can turn it into a complete, you know, I don't know, battle mage type build. I guess it's not a battle mage because we don't have a weapon, but we are using a giant shield. Now, you could run the Fingerprint Shield, and of course you're going to get better blocking, as always, with the Fingerprint Shield. I find the Fingerprint Shield almost too easy because you don't ever have to pay attention to your stamina bar. The Visage Shield, though, works really well, too. Of course, we're going to be using Scholar's Shield also. Glintstone Ice Crag to build up the frost, and then you have the fire ability if you want to reset that with the shield itself. And then any other spells that you want to run. Stars of Ruin works really well because it's chargeable, it has tracking, does a lot of damage. This is definitely more along the lines of fun, but one I highly recommend trying if you're just looking for a goofy and fun time and a little bit of a fun, different Fire and Frost build. Let's jump to equipment. And we have the Quality Sword Lance as a weapon, but we weren't really using that with Impaling Thrust. The Prince of Death Staff, the Visage Shield, plus 10 preferably. The Golden Order Seal, plus 10. Check out our armor set here. We hit 75 poise. We're carrying a little bit more weight with this one. Shard of Alexander, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Godfrey Icon. Arsenal Charms plus 1, or Great Jar's Arsenal, if you have it, is a little bit better by about 2 to 3%. Magic tier, Bloodsucking Crack tier. Let's talk about buffs. Stats are the same: Golden Vow, Hellish Fury, Blessings of the Erdtree, Scholar's Armament, Stars of Ruin, and Glintstone Ice Crag. Okay, it might be Crag, I'm not sure, but anyways, back to this. Dual Giant Crushers. This is going to be a really fun one. I decided to put them in Blood Affinity with Royal Knight's Resolve for a little bit of a mix-up. Of course, you could run these in Quality or Occult and get a lot of damage, but I wanted a Bleed build with this one. We're able to get a Bleed proc there for the extra damage. And then, of course, a lot of jump attack damage. It is hard to get the buff again on each of these because you have to switch back and forth between the two, so I just went in for regular jumps and whatnot. But we have a really good amount of stamina, which makes this all that much easier. It's going to be so much easier to run this build at a high level because of the amount of stamina you have. You can see we're able to get in several jumps before our stamina bar is depleted because we have 50 endurance. This is definitely more along the lines of overpowered. You can get in some stance breaks too. I've tried this with several different bosses. I was able to get a couple breaks, not with this boss specifically. You actually think these would do more poise damage than they do though. We have the Blood Giant Crusher, plus 25 Royal Knights Resolve. Same thing with Prelates. It's plus 25 in Blood Affinity, Royal Knights Resolve. We have the Dragon Communion Seal, Raptor's Black Feathers. We have 52 poise here. We have the Claw Talisman, Blade of Mercy for when you get a poise break. We have Lord of Blood's Exaltation. Once again, you can run the White Mask again if you wanted to. Arsenal Charms plus 1 or Great Jar's Arsenal. Green Burst Crystal tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Let's talk about buffs. And we were just using Golden Vow, Halash Shibiri, and Blessings of the Erd Tree, so not too complicated there. These are the stats, by the way. I'm at level 481. I have 80 in all damage stats. If you want to run something like this at a high level, it's excellent. Thanks for watching this one. Honestly, thanks for tuning in and hanging out with me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Set up a community on my channel if you guys want to join that now. You can like post it and whatnot, and even put like feedback in there for future videos and all that. Can't wait to do another video for Elden Ring. I've been kind of getting back into it. Playing Night Rain still on my other channel, but enjoying Elden Ring as well too again, especially after taking like a month break and then coming back. It's been a lot of fun. If you have any build requests, comment them below. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day.